Hey guys, I am Colleen and I'm a person. I like to read and I like to write, but I do whatever on this channel. Today, we are going to be talking about my 3 recent reads, just 3 books. I'm taking it slow. I was determined to keep my paranormal romance streak going. I read and DNF'd a few rotten ones. I read another one after Love vs. Scarecrow that I don't know, I almost DNF'd it, but finished it, so that was something. I'll get into it, but the next 2 are mafia romances. How did I, all this time, just skipped over mafia romances and gone straight ahead to like serial killer dark romances? I don't know. I mean, mafia romances are kind of dark, I guess. Not the ones that I've read anyway. Not that dark. Let's get into it. The first one that I read is a paranormal romance, actually. This is the one that I wanted to stop like several times. This is The Art of Avoiding Your Werewolf. I'll put it up. First of all, it did not go as the title suggested because there was no avoiding whatsoever. My problem with this book is that it did not have a conflict. And doesn't that usually go hand in hand with plot? Isn't that? I don't know. I am just very used to like a plot needing something to solve or something to happen. I don't know, but there was no conflict, and that really threw me off. The progression was weird. The mains, Mad and Love, yeah, they didn't really avoid anything. There was no avoiding. They liked each other and they got together. I don't know. I don't know what happened, but yeah, it seemed a bit haphazard. Like the events were skimmed through like a list, like a grocery list of things that happened. This happened and this happened and this happened, without really getting into the scenes. Does that make sense at all? Yeah. That really bothered me, that it wasn't like a detailed storytelling. It was more of a rundown of events, if you will. And that was my problem actually with most of the book. The intimate scenes were there, but they were brief and sort of glossed over. Personal histories were glossed over of the characters, stifling me falling in love with the characters and discovering, I don't know, just connecting with them. Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I'm so sorry, but it was not for me. In fact, after reading this book, although I did get to finish it, I stopped reading for like a week and read manhwa instead because I was so upset that I was not getting the paranormal romance fantasy that I wanted. And while I was taking that break, I debated just heading straight for the holiday books at this point because it seemed like a lost cause. When I decided to like try again, I decided to pivot away from paranormal romance for now. Get it together, guys. Give me a good one. And decided to read some mafia romances. The first one that I read, I guess the second one, is Sweet Temptation by, gosh, if I could only remember, Cora Riley. I'll put the cover up. Okay, this is a mafia romance, Italian mafia, I believe. And the mains are called Cassio and Giulia. While this is a mafia romance, this is, I don't know, if you're starting just dipping your toes into reading mafia romances, I suggest reading this first because I was pleasantly surprised. There was not much mafia in it. It was so wonderfully domestic for a mafia romance. It's more of a how a blended family adjusts to one another after like a bunch of unfortunate events, like tragedies. Cassio and Julia, they're in an arranged marriage, as I have noticed is the earmark of mafia romances. There's usually like an arranged marriage of some sort. And fair warning, a lot of these books are generally backwards. I don't want to say traditional because that can mean a lot of different things. It's a bit backwards. Women are treated as possessions, and there are lots of warnings on Goodreads when you read the blurb. Let's put all that aside because if it's in the blurb, you know what you're getting into, and you know that it's mafia romance, so you know what you're getting into. Let's set all that aside. Given all those things that we set aside, it's wonderfully domestic, as I said, even though it is mafia and we expect stuff to be morally and legally questionable, if that makes sense. It was still surprisingly sweet. A sweet story. All those things in the blurb. This is age gap, by the way. Warning. This is a very big age gap. I think the mains are 13 years apart. The main guy, he operated on a code, at least. This is I'm trying to phrase this the right way, that so as to not offend anybody. But yeah, given that it's like the darker side of the law type of fiction, I really like that the mains operated on some sort of code, at least. Like, granted, it's morally questionable and legally questionable, but there's still a semblance of honor there. Cassio knew that he was flawed and he was tactless, but he still tried his best to do right by his wife. I didn't hate it. It wasn't bad. Like with Butcher and Blackbird, which I really liked, there's a line. Obviously, we're talking about fiction entirely. Like with Butcher and Blackbird, they're killers, but they're killers of killers. Do you know what I'm talking about? It's like a loophole. As I said, it's like a family situation. Cassio lost his former wife under circumstances that I will not discuss because I don't want to spoil it. But yeah, the book gets into it, and so he has to marry a new person to help keep his family together with his 2 kids. And yeah, there's a lot of revelations that come with this new blended family. They discover things about each other and adjust to one another and recover from trauma collectively. I really liked it. I liked it. So the next one that I read is the sweetest. I mean, they all say sweet, I guess. The Sweetest Oblivion by, forgot the author's name, I'll put it up. And this is Nicholas Russo and Elena Abiley's story. And they're from opposing crime families, basically. And initially, Nicholas is engaged to Elena's sister, but after a series of circumstances happened, they became engaged. And yeah, the story unfolds from there. I like this book, and at the same time, there was something about it that bothered me. I think it's because a majority of the first half of the book, they were just skirting around each other, and I got a bit impatient because I felt like Elena's thought process, her inner monologue, a lot of it was becoming repetitive and like on a loop of frustration, like a frustration because she's attracted to this person and sort of dragged a little. I think her inner monologue became a bit wordy and lengthy at times, but at the same time, it was well written. It was just, there was a lot of it. So yeah, that kind of had me gritting my teeth at times. All things considered, I still enjoyed it. I thought that the third act conflict was a bit rushed and the conclusion was a bit rushed as well, but I still enjoyed it nonetheless. Both are great introductory ones to mafia business. This one had a little bit more mafia than the other one. The other one had nothing. I don't know. I mean, there was hardly any mafia business with the first one. There was no like killing or on page violence of any kind. And this one, the Sweetest Oblivion, had a little bit more. There was a little bit more insight to the dynamic and the how the crime families worked and how they operated and illegal activities. All things considered, both are great introductory ones. They're not too heavy, not too much violence or killing or anything like that. So those are all my recent reads. Apologies if you were expecting a bit more. I am looking forward to all the holiday books that may or may not come out soon. I might or might not give Paranormal Romance another try. I don't know at this point. I'm starting to get really upset because I keep searching werewolf, vampire, witches, demons, angels. I can't find anything for the life of me. I cannot. But maybe I'll just read whatever's there, whatever I see. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe if you want to, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.